ago, very long ago, I worked for a company in their human resources group. And the company, while I was there, wanted to do a better job of um, funneling people inside the organization once they were there so they would stay there, sort of career pathing them. So I was part of the team that was sort of involved in that career pathing. But what I found when I was working there is that we had a huge hiring surge. So we went from 120 people to 2,000 people in 1 year. So there was an awful lot of hiring and a lot of things that were falling through the cracks. And there was also a great growth opportunity. So after that job sort of became gone. There was no longer a need for it. I joined another department in the organization and ultimately left. But I still loved that kind of work. And a friend reached out to me and said, "There's this company called Lee Hecht Harrison. They do outplacement services, and I think you'd be a great fit." So I didn't know anything about Lee Hecht Harrison at the time, but I fell in love. That's how I fell in love with the kind of work that I ended up doing. I didn't know that you could make a living out of helping people learn how to look for work. And that is what I've been doing ever since. So, that is my love. And I think all of my past experiences, because I've done a lot of different things before I got into HR, had sort of given me a foundation and a springboard to build off of. And I think that that's true for so many job seekers, that all of our past experiences can be modeled into something different in the future. 2021 is an evolving year, and we don't even really know what's going to happen. It's not like any other year we've seen in the past. But what I do know, looking at what we went through in 2008, 9, 10, the Great Recession, is that job seekers need to be proactive. I want to see all job seekers take proactive measures by reaching out to companies that they are interested in working with in absence of a job posting, and build relationships with people inside of those companies, and just be more outgoing and reaching out to people who you used to work with to find out what's going on in the business, in your industry, in your world, whether it's geography or your occupation or your industry. So being more proactive, also being able to be clear about what you are looking for in your next opportunity. There are certain skill sets and things you enjoy doing, and we oftentimes can combine those things to establish a personal brand or an online reputation of what we're really great at doing. And it's up to the job seeker today to be very clear about what makes them special, different, unique, great at what they do. And I love talking to job seekers when they are talking about what they love doing, because their eyes light up and they get this glow about them. And that is contagious. Anybody talking to them can feel that energy. And that's great for hiring. People love to see that. Even if you don't have all the skills and experience, if they see that interest and passion, that can overcome what people don't have. And I think persistence is another really important thing as we head into 2021. This process is taking long. The hiring process is taking longer than anybody wants or anyone expects. So it's up to the job seeker to be patient and to follow up regularly with companies that they're in process with or are interested in. Oh, and skilling up. Make sure that you've got all the skills that you need. LinkedIn Learning has a lot of great courses, but there's so many different ways in which to develop new skills while you're in the process of job search. So skill up. There are not a lot of posted jobs available because companies aren't sure what's happening due to the pandemic, whether it is, they're holding on to their current staff and they're not sure they can afford to grow yet because they don't know what the economy is going to be. But some of the things that we did see was that almost all companies are still very open to the idea of remote work, thank goodness, right? So we have seen, all of the major job boards now have the ability to filter for remote work, which prior to the pandemic, that wasn't an option. It was very hard to find companies that were open to remote work. The other thing that we're seeing are video interviews. All companies are utilizing video interviewing to screen and to interview their candidates. So it's important that job seekers have a comfort level or develop a comfort level behind the camera and learn some of the best practices of that. And I think the other thing that is important right now as we move forward and like looking at some of the trends is that your flexibility and adaptability and showcasing your ability to work well independently, all of those qualities are going to become even more important to recruiters who are looking to hire somebody remotely and bring them on. They want to make sure that you can manage yourself independently and that you will be comfortable learning new things on your own without somebody right there to help you. I really want job seekers to get the answers to the questions. And that's what I try and do in everything that I post out there. I also want to try and keep them up to date on some of the trends that are going on. So if I come across an article on LinkedIn or other places that excuse me, shares information that I think would be valuable, it's sort of new, I want to make sure job seekers know about that. So I share those kinds of hot new trends and classic questions that job seekers have. I think there's still a lot of people who want more information on how to really use LinkedIn effectively, because it's become such a go-to spot for networking and job search and all of that. And I guess that's a great thing. People didn't know a lot about the importance of online networking and using LinkedIn. So now it's sort of in the forefront and really important. And piggybacking onto that, one of the things that I've been trying to develop more content around, because I've seen so many people with questions about it, is how do I network virtually, right? So people in general don't like networking in general, right? I'm an introvert. I don't really love going to those big networking events and meeting people, but I love networking virtually because it's something that I can do when I'm up to it, when I have the energy. I have time to think about my answers and what I post out there. So it works really well for introverts. And I think that a lot of people in general don't know how to network virtually. Like, okay, what do I say? How do I comment? All of those are kind of subtle nuances for people who've been in the business, people who've already been networking online. We understand how to do it. It's sort of second nature to us. But for people who are just getting started, they don't understand that you can actually build relationships with complete strangers just by leaving a thoughtful comment or by, asking a question. So I think, that is those are some of the challenges that people are seeing now. Like, how do I do this virtual networking thing?